Greetings, and good evening to those who are now joining. I want to welcome you to the Dr. Matthews-Bey Unfiltered, and I am Dr. Matthews-Bey. Welcome to you all to this evening, to those who once again are joining me. Islam to you, my Moors, my Moorish brothers and sisters. And I want to give you my 30 seconds before I start my unfiltered show. So let's begin. Hold on. Oh, brother. Okay. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey once again. This afternoon or this evening shows comes to you with the kind compliments of Greenleaf Distributors, Event Management Services, Love. For those who are hold on. For those who are joining, there will be somewhat a constant interruption, but please don't leave the show. The interruption is normally roughly 3, 4, 5, 10 seconds the most. What will happen? The editing portion of the show will have to step in to try to bring it much more closer. Please do mind the little disturbances. It is something beyond my control, and most of you would know what I mean beyond my control. So today I want to stress upon a topic that is merely at hand. Dr. Fraud Ali. And the reason why I'm saying doctor is that he makes sure that he got the country of India to award him his doctorate. Gave him an honorary doctorate so he can be now known as Dr. Fraud Ali. The guy is so cheap that he makes sure that it's being given to him so he can gain some sort of recognition. I'm so proud of the fella, becoming a product of the system and the democratic ways and means. For most persons who are focused would comprehend what I'm saying. So once again, I want to thank you very much for joining. Share the live. Share the live today, people. Share the live. Because, I don't really want to fast track my show. I want to make sure I comfortably sit and talk about it. And what I want to talk about this evening is the beyond. World is Wits from India. And Dr. Fraud Ali, that who would have talked about the one Guyana and one India system. And I was so happy, quote unquote, I was so happy that he brought it up because now we get to comprehend where he got that strategy from, where the People's Progressive Terrorist Party has gotten that strategy from. So we want to dive right. Ali was on Wion, WION. Most of you will go to YouTube and check it out. It's there. A lot of us don't want to go on YouTube. I don't know why. But to those who are joining, I'm also on YouTube, known as Dr. Matthews-Bey. And go on YouTube. You see my show right now. It's live streaming. I'm also live streaming on two platforms: Facebook, Dr. Matthews-Bey Unfiltered, and also Dr. Matthews-Bey Program. I'm on both pages, and the same is correct with the information at the bottom of the screen where the WhatsApp cellular number is 611-6575. You can get me there. Please do not call me direct. You wouldn't get me direct. You'd get me WhatsApp, where you'll be able to mostly correspond with me. So let me dive right into tonight's this evening's show. Uh, okay, have a off and on clip. Okay, I'm back. It seems to me that I'm back. Okay, good. The the Beyond News Agency has had an interview with Mr. Ifrod Ali, and he talked about the One India policy that's supposed to be a worldwide policy, where he prescribed India to be a superpower in the near future. And the One India policy is pertaining to a world power. That world power is now coming to fruition, because now we get to comprehend where we got this One Guyana policy from. It's an abstract from the One India policy, but the One India policy is worldwide, which wants to be a new world power. And in that, he's pushing to the colonization of these, especially this particular Guyana, the corporation of Guyana that he wants to govern, that he now governs, and also for Suriname and also for Trinidad. If you realize lately, that these three countries, these three corporations, are heavily involved in getting Indian policies to their countries. And they're adopting certain strategies, but they can't get Trinidad to do it because it's a different prime minister that's in place, which is everybody know Mr. Rowley. But for the off, they're trying to adopt such strategies. So what is now taking place in these two particular corporations is that everybody's pushing for this One India policy under their government and talk about a one Suriname or a one Guyana. They are adopting strategic policies that are implemented by the country of India into Guyana and into Suriname. If it was Miss What's her name, who would have been prime minister, she would have that Miss Bisesa, she would have adopted the same thing. They were moving into that strategic point. What they're doing, they're trying to separate these countries into class. So in the class system, like how India has it, there's only one particular class governs the rest of class, which is the Chatri, which is a Chatri class, the more fairer skinned Indians that consider themselves to be Chachri, and they create laws to make them more, how should I put it over, more privileged, more than the other class of people that are of a darker complexion. Remember, Nandalal spoke about the Chachri each other. Like, for instance, after okay, I think I know what's going on. Constant, there's a hacking into my page again. Yes, I think I know what's going on. I think I know what's going on. I might have to change certain settings again. Yes, as I was talking about the Chatri class and the lower class of citizens according to the corporation of the People's Progressive Terrorist Party. And there's certain elements between the community of the so-called blacks or Afro-Guyanese that are promoting that class system. Because what they're trying to do within the corporation, they're trying to create a bourgeoisie class among the you call Afro or Black Guyanese. I say Aboriginal Guyanese, Indigenous Aboriginal Guyanese. That's the word I use because it's prevalent to them. So I'm trying to make sure that that's the kind of people that they're using to suppress, because eventually they have to use our own kind to suppress us. They already have a process, a program, a law of suppression, which we live under as an oppressed people. Now, I'm having a serious problem with connection. I just saw another thing popped up on my page, but I'm going to continue. There's certain types of oppression that they use our class, no, sorry, they use our people to classify us. If you realize, some of us, when we get on this social media, we talk about poor people and the poorer community, which is the black community. That's how they identify us. That is also a form of suppression to already an oppressed people. So they use that as a propaganda so we can sink it in our minds that we are poor and that we are oppressed. So when these things comes up, we will say, oh yes, well then we're poor and we're oppressed. But we need to get rid of that energy, because they're using that energy. Remember, it's to cast a spell. They're using that energy just to continue to cast that spell of oppression. So when they create laws, they can normally say that Well, we agree to it because we don't say anything. We don't come out and protest. We don't say anything. We don't voice an opinion. We sit down and accept what they do to us. So that is a form of oppression. So, and the reason why I come on this topic it is because you'll find that there are some members of what you call the party that most of us look to are making sure that we become suppressed in this position. I'm going to show you a simple example. I'm going to bring it up. Look at the Mocha Arcadia problem in the Mocha Cane View. We had certain members of a political party, not the PPP, went out there, they videotaped all that they can, and they put themselves in a position showing that, well, they'll be able to speak out. And they spoke. Fine, I agree with that. They spoke out. But when it comes to supporting their leader in a walkabout so they can talk about this issue, because every time when we went into North from Veld and visit members in South and North from Veld and visit members in in Rassville and in Roxanne Burnham Gardens, they were raising these issues. And quote you, quote me, quote Dr. Matthews, none of them went that I can see with their leader. If they were, maybe I was blind because I know I went 2 days. I went the Wednesday and I went the Thursday. I didn't went the day before, so I didn't get to see who was there. But I was walking on multiple occasions with Mr. Norton, and as I meet people, people ask of these problems. People address these problems to us as politicians. Well, I'm not a politician. I'm a representative of the people. As running in the local government body as a candidate for local government, but under the APNU PNC umbrella. But politics is something that I want to make sure that I keep myself from because I want people to comprehend. I'm not there to follow politics. I'm there to be a representation of the people. And I'm there to make sure that I support Mr. Norton on being that particular part or being that particular type of person. Because some politicians see his actions as not being political, but being personal. And I don't know why. That is why it's hard for them to join him in these walkabouts. So they prefer to get on the social media and talks all kinds of ill things. And I'm saying that is totally wrong. So you can quote Dr. Matthews in saying these things. I don't mind. I don't have a problem who wants to quote me because I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm going to say like what I normally say to a lot of people. And like what Mr. Norton would normally say. I don't collect envelope with checks from no one. So I am not party to no one. I'm not supposed to succumb to no one intention or invention upon my political beliefs, and that's why I'm not a politician. So we don't have to worry about that. But Ifrad Ali make sure that he talked about the One India policy that he's now adopting in Guyana as the One Guyana policy. But under the One Guyana policy, Under the Guyana policy, there again it was an interruption. But I want to y'all to know what every time that there's an interruption, it becomes a few seconds. Please do not cut off. You need to comprehend. Remember, I'm the person that speaks the truth and I speak it all time. So do not cut off. It is normally a break-in that, from the de facto regime on Facebook. Because remember, I will face these things again and again and again. But you need to see how long is the show. Tap in on the feed and see how long is the show and realize that the show does not skip all the time. Okay? So this one Guyana policy is an automatic copy of the one India policy around the world. So India is now building a world power through these three major countries: Guyana, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. Secretly, they make sure that they infiltrate your armies by making sure that these governments send their armies, their military servicemen, to India to be trained to adopt these military style observations so they can secretly have intelligence upon our members of the Ghana Defense Force or the Surinamese Defense Force or the Trinidadian Defense Force. You see, you got to comprehend all these things and the reason why I'm talking about it. Look, I'm sure you're gonna I'm gonna talk about very frankly. I'm going to talk about the data clerk, the entry data clerk that worked at the Providence police station. Right? Hold on. Okay. At the Providence police station, I was looking at a message coming on the WhatsApp that lived on the same Key and View Dam. They don't even know who they're interrupting. Let me show you where they used our bourgeoisies that looks like us to suppress our people. She fought with members of the Ghana police force that she works with to save her home. But because she refused to come out of the home that was demolished by the terrorist regime, the PPTP, she fought with them because she knows the value of it and the valuables she has in it. Now, they force her to live on the streets. And Robeson Ben, another oppressor, another house slave, Robeson Ben ensured that person's been sent home from the ministry which he governs as Minister of Home Affairs. To send that poor woman home without a job. Now she's living on the streets. We have to now provide for her constantly, daily. Can you tell me that's fair? How fair that is? Because you stand up for your rights, not only as a citizen of the corporation, but as a living soul with inalienable rights to right to life, liberty, because she stood up for her rights as a living soul, the right to life, liberty, and property. They send the poor child home. They send the woman home, sent her home from the job, terminate her services to the Ministry of Home Affairs because she's a data entry clerk under the Ministry of Home Affairs, attached to a police station. Took away her life, took away her responsibility of being a mother, make her more poor than she is. Now, what you want her to do? Join the prostitution line? Because that's the only good thing that Minister Ben would know. Send home the poor woman, doesn't know how to fend for herself and as a mother. So you make sure that you send her home, she doesn't have a job. So now what you want her to do? Become a prostitute, because that's what you're good for. Supporting the entertainment system that creates prostitution. Violating the rights of Aboriginal indigenous persons. That's what you're doing. A complete violation. Disregard of the United Nations Convention. Disregard of the United Nations Convention and violation of the 1514 of 1960, the Article 1514 of 1960, violating the rights of those who deserve their rights to be respected and to be upheld, violating the Treaty of 1787. You're violating all these rights and all these laws that creates their rights. And you call yourself a human being. You call yourself a person who tells the world that, oh, racism don't happen in Guyana. That's what you tell yourself. That's what you tell the world. You and the photo, our prime minister tells the world that, oh, racism don't happen in Guyana. That's what you go about saying. On we on talking about a one Guyana system. A one Guyana system. For what? Just to make sure that you're on par with the government of India, with Mahendra Modi's policies that you're following. Suddenly, we look like Indians. We look like we came from India. You know, the amazing thing is that Mohandas Karamchand didn't come from this land. You want to go where he came from, go back to India. Go there and participate in their one India policy. Don't bring it here. Let's keep right there. Our policy is one people, one nation, and one destiny. That's our policy here. It's a motto. One people under the Corporation of Guyana. Guyanese, with one nation, Guyana, and one destiny, so everybody can inherit. Well, you don't got to worry about me. I'm not Guyanese, but you owe me. You owe me according to the treaties that you entered into You and Britain, you adopt the treaties, Britain enter into the treaty. Great Britain, as there's known then, you owe me because my ancestors left this land for me. And I have my title because my title is at the end of my surname, which is Bey. You can't even erase that. It's legal. As long as I'm living, it's legal. I'm not in the substandard way of acts, codes, conducts, and statutes like how the cooperatives, individuals are. But the truth has to be the truth. The truth is that your process of of class system or classism, complete racism, and bigotry that you're so practicing so barefacedly with your house slaves, and then you have the audacity to talk about, oh, there's no such thing that is going on in Guyana. You know your reasons why you could things, all these things happening in Guyana. All these things are happening in Guyana. And the news media ain't even printing it. They ain't even talking about it. It's a fact. Imagine it come over social media. It took them days before they even talk something about it. It's an inhumane action. It's a violation. And you want to be seen as a democratic country. Well, democracy doesn't really mean anything. Democracy means it's a shadow government from the real government of today. But I sit here to make sure that I talk about the issues, talk about the points and the dangers that surrounds a people that does not that does not have certain resources, that doesn't have the privileges like certain people, and does not need this kind of treatment. That's what I sit here to talk about daily and constantly. And the thing is that although they do not deserve it, like me, I get to comprehend now like it's every 5 minutes they're cutting this video. I understand why, but I will not stop talking about it. These issues will always have to be the facts. We have to continue to talk about these things. The facts have to be the facts. You cannot constantly talk, you cannot constantly do things like these to my people. I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't. It cannot. It must not be accepted. We it's something that I always have to talk about. I don't care where some members of parliament is annoyed because I bring it up. The last time I bring up the money exchanging ways of the Exxon Mobil, and certain people like what I said. But these are the facts. Politicians needs to be held accountable for their actions. None of them are talking about it. You ask them what's the legal prospects of the actions in Cane View Mucker. It's a whole lot of words you're hearing. It's a whole lot of words. It's a different situation. It's a different situation. Everybody has the audacity to talk about a full. I don't even know what is it to say. And then, and then trying to bring a no confidence vote against a leader that they don't even support financially or physically, because the man chose to deal with business of the People's National Congress in the manner in which he sees and comprehend the people on the ground needs. So apparently, like the majority who voted for him to become leader of the People's National Congress, right? Supposed to be that they don't have a means the ones who have the money suddenly got a vision. And because their vision should not be heard, well, we're going to starve him of the resources of the party that the party needs. I mean, come on. Are you serious? Are you that serious? It's not right. It should never be right. It should never be a standard that you want to hold on to. For what reason? Even if you agree to disagree or agree to agree, your main focal point and focus supposed to be on the sustainment of the organization that you call the PNCR. That's a fact. Whether you like it or not, that's the fact. You just don't come together to talk something. And the dishonest part of the conversation that was on social media, I told people about it. The dishonest part is between the three parties. Because one person to three parties decide to publish it on social media. That's how it works. Take the conversation and publish it on social media. But I say it's a normal conversation all three of them have. You have to expect those things. When you're part of an organization or head of an organization, there are always people who does not appreciate certain things that you do. It's fine. It's okay. We comprehend that. We definitely do. But I'm saying to you that you're unprofessional. And I'm saying to you, the focus should be on the illegal and discriminatory actions of the People's Progressive Terrorist Party, PPTP. That's where your focus is supposed to be on. Because why are you trying to destabilize your own party? The PPTP, which is also destabilized, are moving ahead of destabilizing you. Destabilizing you some more. Their position is to make sure that you become a destabilized person, a group of people, so you cannot challenge them. The time you take to challenge them is the time you're supposed to bring stability to your party. By the time you wake up, the time already gone. They use and abuse the situation so you cannot know what's going on. They're using Willie Lynch strategy. The time you take to work and pay your bills, and by the time you wake up, they already take your family away from you. They want you to focus on things that they feel does not concern you. It only concerns them because they're the elite. So they shall stay in power by the hooks or the crooks, by creating a dictatorship. You best work and focus on getting your people out of that dictatorship because it's not right. It's not right. It's incorrect. It's going to destroy you as a people. Look what's going on. Whilst the People's Progressive Terrorist Party has a media blackout on the Corporation of Ghana, and only for them, because they don't want the opposition to be involved in nothing. That's what you're supposed to focus on more. That's what you're supposed to be out there talking about. The inability to address the problems in your country, in the country that you claim to be a politician of, and the problems that is created by the party amongst your people, your voting constituencies. They make sure that they create a scenario makes you unable to address the international communities about the problems that surrounds your community that they're doing. That's what you're supposed to do. Focus on that. Getting the issue solved and resolved. That's what you're supposed to do. Focus on that. As again I say, it's getting the issue solved and resolved. You're supposed to be able to denounce certain things. You're supposed to be able to have the privileges to if you don't wake up, the same international community that put them in there, that time is going to work in doing it again. Because they know the PPP cannot win an election anymore. They don't have the constituency to win an election. Out of 480,000 people that voted in the last election, the international community already knows that 2/3 majority voted for the AP and AFC. The PPP lost that election by a whooping 25,000 plus votes. They lost. Even if you extract the spoiled ballots as they claim, you still leave with 17,000 plus. More than 3 seats. They lost so miserably that they had to get an international community to put them back in there because of promises that they had made with ExxonMobil, the US State Department, to the British High Commission, and to the Canadians. They make sure the government. So what they claim, they didn't win the elections on validity of the votes, because apparently they want to throw that out. They're claiming that they win the elections based upon credibility of the ballot. And they left it like that. And you who are there, who call yourself members of the opposition that sits in parliament, need to support your leaders. You need to support Mr. Arbinot because it's the only way you can see the unification of not being a problem to the problem, but become a solution to the problem that exists today in your country. Because for everyone that you meet on the road keeps talking about this particular scenario. Everyone. The PPTP already knows that they can't the last 2 years, right? They had paid the you call them the African Guyanese so much money to don't go out and vote. The people still went and vote, and the people did not vote for them. So they know that. Why do you think they're operating like that? They know that when they give you the money, they give not me, them the money. The people don't go vote for them, people's going to vote for the PNCR. They already got it correct. That is why they're trying to reach out to the Spanish community. But the Spanish community ain't staying in the country. No matter what they do. So what they're trying to do right now is to divide up the main region that has majority of the population. Region 4. They're trying to divide up region 4 into 4 parts. 4 electoral districts. They're trying to divide up region 4. Holds nearly 280,000 residents. That's what they're trying to divide. Region 4. So they're not 100,000 something residents who come from different places like region 3, region 10, region 7. Region 4, 3, 10, and 7. After that, they ain't got no more regions to fill up the electoral voters list. So what they did, they had an added 200,000 more to it to make it 600 something thousand. We don't have that amount of people in this country. If you ask me, we got 450,000 voters. That's why the PPP knows that they don't have a vote constituency. So they're trying to gerrymander the regions. You know, they're trying to do what the US does, have electoral colleges. So in case the majority voted, they don't like the majority, they turn to the electoral colleges and will put them in power. They're trying to do that. They're earnestly trying to do that. So I'm saying to you now, brothers and sisters, if you do not awake and see the troubles that we are heading into, and we remain so quiet, just now we're not going to say anything. Because if members of the PNC can treat their own leader imagine what they can do next. If they can treat their own leader like this, imagine what they are going to do next. Seriously. We need to get behind a policy in which we need to support each other to overcome and bring the People's Progressive Party or the People's Terrorist Party to their knees. We need to do that. They don't like Arbinot because he strategizes. They don't like the things that he does because that's how he gets his information. They want nothing to do with him because maybe he looks too much black or African. What I'm saying to you, if you do not awake and see the light, it is going to be dangerous. It is. It will. In time to come, it will. Because if the People's Progressive Terrorist Party is acting like this now, you can imagine the next 5 years. It's going to be mayhem and murder in the streets like what it was in the 10-year period of 2000 2010. I am bringing this information to you as credible as that can be because you need to see the facts in which it develops itself under. I don't know about you, but I'm tired and I'm weary of saying and doing the same things constantly. We need to start seeing the light. Definitely we need to start seeing the light. We need to approach it in the most robust manner. We need to let a fraud Ali know that the things that he's doing is incorrect and it's wrong. We need to bring him to a judicial point. And they're constantly participating in things that are unethical. I don't know when my people are going to see those who support the PPTP. I mean, just look at it. Another person like himself, how can you how can you take bread out of a mother's mouth? You sent her home because she decided to defend the land which she's on, which is hers by ancestral. You can't be like her because you cannot be like her. Because you cannot be I don't know. I don't know about you, but I can't see how I'm a member of the Ghanaian force, a leader of the Ghanaian force, and a leader of the Ghana police force, and to see my brothers and sisters being treated in this manner, like aliens. I just don't comprehend how I can sit and just watch at it. I just don't know how I can just sit down or stand by and just watch these people treat my brothers and sisters in such an inhumane manner because we don't like their party. Seriously. And these house slaves that I'm talking about are there just to make sure that this policy of the terrorist party that they support continue to to barbarize our people and then call yourself a black brother. Seriously. We need to comprehend that it's not working out for us. I'm being serious. This kind of attributes is not working out for us. We need to find another profession. Because if our profession is to barbarize our own people, lay waste to them in an oppressive manner, well, if this is a level of work to earn money, hello boy, I wouldn't like to see the end. I want to thank all those who took the time to view this program. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey Unfiltered. I want to say to you that this show come to you with the kind compliments of Greenleaf Distributors. We distribute products, consumable items like vegetable, fruits, and dairy products. We also manage events as an event management services being provided to the community and the diaspora around the world. When you support these businesses within the Omaket company of me, on the Omaket company of me, Dr. Matthews, you support the Dr. Matthews Bay Unfiltered. And also when you buy the products like Black Love, that is a new line of clothing now that has been put on the internet, you also support me. It's a way of doing business. I cannot do business under the Corporation of Guyana presently because I'm not only blacklisted, I'm a what you call a prisoner, a political prisoner under the People's Progressive Terrorist Party, headed by Fraud Ali, Mr. Jackdale, and Mr. Nandalal. So, in us, in in no other short order, I must say thank you very much. Stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask with places. This is Dr. Matthews Bay Unfiltered Daily. Good night and Cheerios.